Taurus, welcome back to Medicine Tarot. This is going to be your July 2020 reading. I picked up this amazing sage on a hike when I went up north, and I wanted to make it part of our reading today. It's wild and gorgeous. Awesome. Let's get started. We need sage right now. That's like literally the vibe of the current atmosphere. It's not July yet. I have such a positive feeling about the way the energies are going to start moving again for Taurus. But let's take a look. In case you don't know me, I'm obviously a tarot reader, but I also am a transformational coach, which means that I help facilitate healing paths for people. I work with psychosomatic techniques, which are much different than regular therapy or all the other thingies. I basically work in the emotional body and the mental body as well, for speedier, more consistent recoveries from this guy. So here we go. Right. The first thing that wants to be highlighted for you today is relationships and this need to close out a cycle here with someone or inside of a relationship. Closing out a cycle of something that feels very blocked, very, very blocked, and it's like straining your body, but also your mind. It's like a strain on both ends. And here is a decision. Here is a decision for you, and a decision that wants to feel simple, but does not feel simple. And the reason it does not feel simple is because what is coming up here isn't just their doing, it's also what keeps you blocked. Does that make sense? You're hooked into the dependency of what this guy is representing, right? And so this can be dependency on, and I'm not talking about drugs and alcohol, I'm talking about like, I also feel really abandoned when blah, 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 blah. So it's like this sense of wanting to control a situation because it feeds a lower part of you. And the reason it's happening in this relationship between two people is because you're mirrors. On some level, you're mirrors to each other, and here you are in this kind of blocked state. The universe wants to say, what are the lessons? The universe is like, okay, clear it up, calm down and focus, because the Cobra energy is all about the teacher. They are your teacher on some level, around your sensitivity, the untamed sensitivity that you still are struggling with on some level in your body. Does that make sense? I wish I could hear yeses and nos so that I know if I need to go into it deeper. But gazelle energy, when it's out of balance, is highly sensitive, highly perturbed, very scared, kicks their legs, is raw. It feels like a raw wound being touched, right? That's gazelle energy. And that's what has occurred here. And it is probably the reason why I don't see a breakup, but it looks like a breakup. Yeah. It's why this devil came up, right? Because they're rubbing up on your raw wound, and you are rubbing up on their raw wound. And so these negative emotions in this relationship feel like they need to be held on to, right? Because on some level you're like, I don't want to close the cycle with the devil. But the secret is that you don't want to close the cycle with the devil because you don't want to end the relationship. And at this point, this person has taken on the form of everything that fucks with you. Hence the difficulty in the decision. What, did it used to be like that? No. So what they're urging us to do here is to start going back to our intuition. Intuition, intuition, intuition. It's beautiful. I really sense that there is new love coming too. Okay, when I say new, does it mean apart from this individual? Potentially, but let me just despite everything that's percolating and it's present in on this table, I want to say, and in your life, there's this weird sense of positivity. Right? There's this weird sense that, like, I will get my wish and I will be okay. And it's a bit of a fearlessness of like facing what's coming to you. And I really see you coming out of the stuckness in July. You're moving, this energy moves out. And right. And many of you will feel that, like, with everything that's happened, there's going to be a time where you have to walk away from this. Like, I very clearly see that a new direction is taking place. Okay, before I say that, let me just... This is one of those split paths, and I'll tell you why. In this divisive time, right, in a time when cycles are trying to get closed up, some people will stay in the old cycle and some people move on to the next cycle. And sometimes people do it together and sometimes people do it apart. And we can't always control what the outcome of that's going to be. But I'm telling you, your guardedness, your stuckness, your feelings of negativity are lifting because you're coming into realization of what is unhealed, right? They're like, time is coming for you to understand the blocks that are keeping you away from the desire to accept love or to accept further motion in this in love in general, and the energy of receiving. Because when we get blocked, we don't receive anymore either, right? We don't receive love, we don't give love, we're just like static. And so the energy above all else becomes unstatic. What I'm seeing is that a part of you, once you get into that kind of higher self place, and I'll help you get there today, hopefully. Once you get into that higher self place, you make a decision that you're going to balance out what feels unhealed, so that you're not in that place where you go, I never get my way, I never receive, I don't get enough from people, like I don't have enough. It's very much of a, I don't have enough emotional sustenance. I don't have enough emotional sustenance. And so Taurus, it's like thick as fog on top of this reading, that you feel like you're not receiving, when really, truly, there's somebody here, aka you, that is on some level blocking the receiving because you're what? Scared that you won't get enough. Does that make sense? People are gonna be like, what the fuck? You are fighting lack before lack occurs, because lack has occurred and you have memorized it in your emotional body. So you start fighting lack before lack has occurred. And that is a deeply healing phrase. And once you realize that, you literally get it, right? And so you come out of that state. Because this card is the representative of I have 3 cups, but I'm not getting my 4th cup. Therefore, I have no cups. Therefore, I'll just sit here with my arms crossed, instead of accepting what I am given. And if you are not receiving what you need, right, you're ready to forget these cups because this one particular cup is not here. So is it like a stubbornness? Sure, it may seem that way, but it is not stubborn. It's called sensitivity. It's called not seeing the forest from the trees, because the lack of that one cup is a representation of you feeling unappreciated. It's a representation of you feeling however it translates in your life. So then you become, that wound gets triggered to such a deep degree that you are, you just fall apart, okay? Oy, oy, oy. Friendship. Friendship. Make a date for a play day with one or more of your friends. So, ooh, nice. Father healing. Right. So is this something that you feel like, is a family pattern, an ancestral pattern? Is it something you observed with your mom in regards to your dad? Is it something I mean, of course it's a pattern. Of course it is, because this is a major cycle closing. There's nothing small happening at this time. I'm sorry, nothing. Literally nothing. The rage that you feel when you pull up to the Coffee Bean and they're closed, or Starbucks to go and they're closed, and you feel rage, that's not Starbucks rage. That's father rage. And I don't mean to always make it about mom and dad and blame them. It's not about blame. None of this is blame. This is all the rising, Kundalini rising. It's about the uncovering of how magnificent we are and how we don't need to feel unmagnificent in the wake of other people's stuff. So will you continue to be with this person? Let's take a look. But regardless of them, this is about you. This July is something that will change your life if we put our nose to the grindstone, sort of, or I should say our ears to the earth. Is that an expression? Like you put your ear on earth to like listen to the wisdom that this plane carries, because we're on the earthly plane. Like it's just this weird cycle of leveling up. And does it get better? Yes, it does get better. Okay, let's keep going. Yeah. So what does Taurus need to know about this other person at this time? Ding dong. What does Taurus need to know about this other person at this time? And I just really love that this relationship reading was a self reading. It wasn't about the other person. Let me see here. Okay. What is this card? What is this? Right, and that's exactly right. So the devil fell on top of the cobra again. Again, it's these lessons. It's this block in seeing. It's this block in understanding our role. What is my role in this situation truly? And the block happens because we feel that it is something than what we're acting on, right? And that's where fights occur. Is that it's hard, man. I understand how difficult this can be, but here we go. There is a need here to transform this structure that you've been living in, to come out of, what is this? Yeah. Something is coming to an end, like a deep halt. a deep halting of the entire thing, and a destruction of sorts, and a definite ending here. Is it from them, or? Sorry, just wait a minute. Right, so it seems like this other person is calling a complete stop to this relationship, because they can't like transform it. They're like, I don't know what I have to work with here, and this imbalance needs to be set right. I need to come out of this state of overwhelm around what I'm receiving and what you are giving. They feel like they're not getting enough either. You know, I'm not being seen, I'm not being respected, I'm not being given, I'm not receiving, right? And so there's this lack of stability, and very clearly they also are ready to stop giving these negative emotional signals to themselves, because the moon energy, aka that emotional body being so packed full of hard emotions, that person also wants to come out of that place, and so at some point you have to, it's the only way to stand up against what has occurred. It's the only way. So here we go. We must release injustices, right? There is this weird blame game here, and it's sad because it's not the two people, it's the dependency that both parties are feeling. The dependency on approval. And we must cleanse our bodies here, our emotional bodies, of that before we can move on. Because all of that, it translates as injustice. Oh, that wasn't fair. That's not 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 fair. And just a second. Okay. And it cannot be put into balance until the individuals are in balance. I see very clearly here that it's like the parties are trying to give balance, give equally, give what they can, so to speak, and yet that there's still this instability and this decision that needs to be made. Oh, God. This is the good news. Oy, oy, oy. This is the good news. Okay. The good news is that when people are out of control, they can't pretend to be in control. And so if you're out of control right now, or the other person is, there must be a level of grain, everything has to come with a grain of salt. And everybody's appreciation has been really triggered. And if there is to be a movement forward, right, there must be, things have to be spoken in appreciation. Things have to be given freely. Like, things have to come out of, you can't get stuck and then pretend that you're going to resolve something in stuckness. You cannot. You can't give a little bit and pretend that it's going to shift. Right? Like, if you're trying to open a door, you need a certain amount of effort with that door. And if it's a heavy door, okay? So this instability, yes, it can be set right. But my dear Taurus, do you feel that like this person is giving you all the right amount of words to communicate, that they understand how they're mirroring you? It's a mirror. You guys are a mirror to each other. Magician and the mirror. So it is about transforming how you view that other person, how you view their actions, and not allowing that to touch on these wounds. So taking responsibility and saying, your action has nothing to do with me. And I am doing a whole thing here and invoking the devil, so to speak, rather than the cobra, rather than the great teacher to say, I sense this wound, I sense this pain, I am giving power to my partner to make me feel this way, thereby making myself a victim of this situation rather than taking responsibility, aka taking on power to step into my higher self and say, I need a break. I need to figure out why XYZ so that I again become the fucking emperor. If you want to be in control, you need to take your power back. And if you feel that your person is taking your power away, that's your fault. Not fault, that's your responsibility. So there is a strategy here for the deceit that everybody on this table is feeling. There must be a quote unquote strategy within themselves, and so this is magic. This is a moment of magic, and people don't believe in magic, but we do it 24/7. And the biggest magic, the biggest alchemy is in the emotional body and in how we are identifying with our outer world. It's the biggest amount of magic we'll have to go through. And sure, you can call it therapy, but you could also call it magic work. I mean, I'm dead serious. And look, I have alchemy at the bottom of the deck, right? So, King of Cups in reverse. Oh, yeah. No. What is this King of Cups in reverse? Aw, good. So here comes a time when let me say it like this. King of Cups in reverse is a manipulative energy. It's someone that will say shit or do things that is manipulative in order to get what they want, but that's their lower vibration self. It's not who they actually are. And here comes the Queen of Swords. So I don't know who is manifesting this energy or embodying this energy, but it's you internally. So you may have also been doing this too, Taurus, but like, yes, thank you. You went in and you did magic, okay? Or you're in the process and you're going to in July. Hermit energy is the ancient, wise seer who has lived through everything and is now in hermit mode, alone in their house, and they are bringing that. It's about Kundalini rising. That's what this card is. Whenever I say that, I laugh because I feel like I sound like a weird hippie. Kundalini rising. Okay, so here you are. Hello, King of Pentacles, Taurus. And you have taken this lack, this sense of abandonment, this loneliness, this abandonment, this rejection, this rejection, this rejection, okay? And you have brought it up in your body, into awareness, into your third eye, which is air. Your third eye, that's your vision, sense of vision, right? Brought it into thought, brought it into a lighter vibration in order to come out of this for not being able to see the forest from the trees, deciding in many ways not to. You've come out of that and you've totally dropped these burdens in this relationship, in your world, not just the relationship. You've dropped it in your world, in your total environment, right? 10 of coins. so that the Wheel of Fortune can show up. And what happens? The sun and happy love. Okay? Are these cards fake? You think this is fake? Think again. Right? So, regardless, I just want to say, regardless of whatever your relationship status is, this Kundalini rising has to happen in order for this deceit and the sucking of energy, the manipulation, the toxic, low vibrational stuff that, God bless us, we all do, can be strategized into lessons, into, and the snake too, by the way, that's a medicinal kind of symbol, a symbol of medicine, and definitely a symbol of, I mean, it's Kundalini rising, right? It like rises out of the basket. So, hello. It's like the great mother picking up her, it's like picking up your lower vibrations and just bringing them up. Picking up this abandonment, this pain, this shit, and just bringing it up. That's the hermit. Do you see his golden staff? That's your spine. That's your chakras. That's your alignment. You're aligning your chakras with higher wisdom. Higher wisdom in regards to this very sensitive, wounded, victim, sad, broken part of you that lives inside of you. And you're taking back your power, right? So whenever you do this, you are creating new neurological pathways in your brain to recognize other people's actions, to recognize all of this as not a, comment. It's not a comment on you. It's a comment on how they're feeling. The end. There is victory here. You will do this. Be proud of yourself, because whoever you are watching this, you're going through this process. This is like high magic, divine magic. Wait. Okay. High priest, intend and create. Yes. So that you can come back into your ability to manifest too, right? Because when we kind of drop down to this level within ourselves, we're not manifesting anything. And so the high priest is here to resonate the idea, like you're coming back into your ability to create, and your medicine guardian is here. Be open to healing information. So maybe this is something you really needed to hear today. And if you need any assistance with this, please call me. My information is below for a private reading, or we can do coaching sessions, all that jazz. I'm also on Patreon, so it's a much smaller group. We do readings throughout the month, more than on here, and I post healing kind of content, so there'll be guided meditations or articles or whatever it may be. I invite you. And we have trust in the unknown. Wow, God. That's the thing. Be great. Say thank you for all of these. Thank you for triggering me in all these ways. I thought I was so good, but thank you for triggering me, dear universe, in these ways so that I can become my own shaman, right? So that I can trust in higher forces. And when we let go of this control of the situation, because our focus is inside, our focus is internal, we allow for greater love. We had the Ace of Cups. Love is coming. The sun is coming. Peace is coming. The old skin will be shed. all of this is returning back into alignment. But first, we got to set ourselves in right. We got to set ourselves right. So intend and create here, my dear Taurus, and know that all is well within your world. It's beautiful. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I love this. Peacemaking. This is a period of peacemaking and curses. There's been something that is, I don't like the word curse, but fine. There's been something here that is cursed. This union cursed you for a long time, maybe even, and it's coming up. And I love these two swords because this is also a symbol of being guarded, of standing up for yourself. But it feels like the way you are learning to stand up for yourself is to avoid the continuation of this curse and to shift out of the guardedness too. I love this. It's so beautiful, this energy. Conclusions are within reach, right? So a lot of this hasn't happened. They're saying your commitment is being tested. Good. You know, your commitment is being tested, and that's okay. Commitment to what? Yourself, the other person. Just remember, you and your loved ones are safe. You are good enough, and your dreams need a practical plan. When your dreams need a practical plan, what is that about? Actually, that's like my least favorite card here, because I'm like, what? Which dream? Which plan? Let's just let that go. Okay. Ah! Look at that. Okay. Let's just pause here for a minute. Do you see? I accidentally like pulled or pushed. Knocked over these cards, and I had the 5 of Pentacles is at the bottom of it again, right? It like wanted to be, it just felt like this lack, Taurus. This rejection, Taurus. Come on, you know? Let's go, let's dive in there. Let's like fully dive into that rejection and really do the work or realign with how illogical and unnecessary and not part of who we are this vibration really is. Bring it up. Really change it. This is a 5. So it talks about change. Also, look at your 5th house. Maybe it aligns. You know? And how is it related to what you're giving out? Because I have here the King of Pentacles, the King and whatever, these 2 people, which is you in this relationship, and the 6 of Coins, which talks about giving. How much you're giving versus how much you're receiving. Maybe you're not receiving as much as you should because you're still in this place of lack. Maybe you haven't learned to receive fully. Maybe it's time that you change the way you you know what I mean? Just change it all up. Some deep, beautiful realizations are coming to you here in July. And everything is getting better. I promise. I promise. But there's synchronicity here, which is also patterns, and synchronicity in terms of how you will be led down this little path of self-discovery and self-healing. So I don't know, maybe the number 5 will come up. Just little things. Watch your thoughts. Yeah. There's definitely, you're manifesting negative stuff too. I'm sorry to say that, right? But they're like, watch your thoughts. You need to chill. Because you're also manifesting negative things happening because of your thoughts and feelings. We manifest in our emotional body, not our thoughts, but it just like eggs on. One thing eggs on the other one, and it's like all tied together. So for a second I thought I wasn't recording this. Oh God. It's time to rest, Taurus. And if you need help with this hardcore energy, this long-standing pattern of this rejection and fear of receiving even. You know, I was talking to one of my clients and she was talking about, I have this belief that says, I don't want to be a burden on anyone else. She said, I don't want to be a burden on anyone else. And I thought that was so interesting. And it's not interesting. It makes me cry. It makes me want to cry because literally you are not a burden. You know? And the person who has made you feel so unaccepted, so wrong, the person who has made you feel wrong, they feel wrong. And we get stuck because we are battling that. Like, no, you feel wrong. No, you feel wrong. No, you feel wrong, right? But the truth of the matter is you both feel wrong. And it's time to recalibrate the mess, just what you're giving out and what you are allowing back in. I have used this example for a long time and I'll use it again. And it goes like this. If a child gets mad at you for not giving it enough crackers, are you going to start fighting with them? No. You'd be like, oh, it's a little kid. They're fine. They don't get it. Blah, blah, blah. And so you wouldn't be triggered in this situation if this trigger wasn't real for you, if this trigger wasn't a real problem for you. So there's no point or really no solution in making this about the other person. The work really is within you. The sun's coming back, okay? The sun, love is coming back, offers are coming back, decisions about this other person and the instability being taken charge of is coming back. The imbalances will be set right. Yeah. Don't worry, but don't be stupid. Okay? I say that with love. Don't pretend like the other person's gonna come and fix it all and everything's gonna get fixed. Sure, it will. But this curse, fine, we'll use that word. That curse, this reoccurring thing, this deep pain. It's time that you grow out of that. However old you are, 20 or 80, you know? And you were going to do that gently and with love. Watch your thoughts here. Just rest, okay? If you feel overwhelmed, the first thing to do is take a nap. What was I going to say? Yeah, that's it. That's all I was going to say. I hope that served you, my darling. And if you need to contact me, my email's below. And if you need assistance, there's that. And I see you on Patreon. And you are going to have a great July, okay? Great July. I promise. Bye.